In this video, I will show you how you can build your first app using FlutterFlow. So FlutterFlow is the best no-code tool for building mobile apps. And by the end of this tutorial, you will start understanding how apps work and how they are built. And if you stick with me until the end, I will actually give you access to my free course here on YouTube, so you can take your FlutterFlow skills to the next level. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So the first thing you have to do in this tutorial is to understand exactly how apps and actually software works. So I made it very easy for you to understand. So here on this side we have the front end. Think of it as your mobile app. So your mobile app is only the front end. The front end means you can see buttons, colors, squares, shapes, buttons again. So but the data, the actual data that you see here inside of your app is not in your phone. It's not in your app. No, it is in your backend. So you will need a backend, like a server, where you can store the data. Like think of this as a hard drive, or a storage device where you put your data, and then the data just flows. It goes from your app to the server, and then from your server to your app, and that's the cycle. So an app is basically a dashboard that allows you to see the data coming from your server. And the data here, you can actually manipulate it. You can create, delete, update. You can do whatever straight from your app. So to give you a more realistic example, let me show you something. So this is a nice dashboard for, it's like a CRM dashboard. And you see we have colors, we have graphs, we have checks, we have so many things. So this is the front end. This is what actually our users will see. So if you build an app and you give it to users, this is what they will see. They will see something like this. All right, it can be on mobile or web. It doesn't matter. What matters is that this is the front end. This is what people see. But in the back end, this is how it looks. For example, this is how it looks. It's like an Excel file. It's like a long spreadsheet. So this is the data. But when you build an app, this is how you display it. So you turn a boring table, like this is boring, and people want, it's not practical. So you take this unpractical table and you turn it into a nice looking dashboard. Again, this is the foundation of this journey. Like if you understand exactly what is a front end and what is a back end, you will actually have an easy time working with FlutterFlow or any no-code tool. Again, we build the front end inside of FlutterFlow. All right, we build the buttons, how the app looks like, but we need a server, which I will show you how to do. It's very easy. It might sound like a big concept, but it is very easy. Again, I will make it easier for you. So we will build the app and the front end inside of FlutterFlow, but of course we will need a server where we can store our data. So if you understand this, which I hope so, we can actually move on to the next part of this video. If you didn't understand this part, you can just watch it again. So the first thing we are going to be doing now is to actually create the project, and later we are going to be building or designing the first page of our app. So here in FlutterFlow, we can just call it to-do list. All right, and then click on start building. So once you have actually built the project like this, there are going to be so many things here that you have to know, but for this particular tutorial, we are going to make it easy. So we are only going to be using maybe the first two icons. Or by the way, if you have just created your new account, this is how it would look like. So we will work on that later, but basically this is exactly how your project or your app will look like. So let's actually pull up the page we are going to be building. So this is the page we will be building, and for whenever you want to build a page inside of FlutterFlow, you always start from the top all the way to the bottom. So here, as I told you, this is called a widget palette, meaning that this is where you can find tags, columns, basically all the widgets that you can use to build a certain page in FlutterFlow. All right, and then you can go to the page selector. So if you have multiple pages, you will see them all here. So for example, here we have a home page, and when you select it, it will become gray, of course, which allows you to go and see its structure. So here we have the home page, which contains a column and an app bar. All right, later I will show you how to combine these two, but for now, this is how it will look like. All right, and again, if you just are curious about how to combine them, you can just click here, it will combine them, but for now let's keep them separated. So now let's go ahead and start building. So here in the home page, we will click on the app bar, right click and delete. So in the home page, we only want to keep the column. So whenever you are building a mobile app, always keep the column under the home page. The column is going to be the biggest parent. All right. Inside the column, we will be building all the other stuff. So here, what do we have? We have on top, we have the text and this icon. So these are what we call a row, because one is next to the other. So this is a group, and a group is called a row. So in the column here, we add another widget, or what they call here a child. So click here and then the row. As you can see, a row is vertical, and this is exactly what we have here in the image. So these are all like a horizontal, all right, one next to the other, just like in this icon. So click here, and this is the row. You can change the name from here, but inside of it. So now this time inside the row, we will add the text. And click on this arrow to open and close it. And again, inside that same row, we click here and add what we call icon button. All right. So this is the icon button. All right. So click on icon button. So this is close to what we have in the image. So first of all, we want to click on the text and go to its properties and actually turn it from body to something like title. Or we can go with title large, or maybe even a headline small. All right. And we want to separate them. So click on the row, since it is the one containing these two, and go to this option. See here. So the icon already tells you what will happen if you click it. So she's separating the two. So we'll click here, and then you just go to the click here again, or here on the page, and then go to the icon, and then so whichever widget you click here, you can see its properties. All right. So here you click it, and you can see it change the radius, the icon, the color, anything you like. All right. So now we are done with the row, which is the first group here later. So we will talk about how to add this space, by the way. And now let's go ahead and create this small task. All right. So here we have a column, and then we will add something below the row. So to add something below the row, you add like a sibling. A sibling to the row is a child to the column. So click here. We will add first a list, because basically this is a task, but we have multiple copies of it, which means it has to belong to a list. All right. And this is the list, as you can see here. You add one item and it will kind of duplicate it. So you cannot see anything here because a list needs a child. So let's give it a child, and with this time we're going to go with a container. So container basically is this white card or rectangle. All right. Now here we have the container. So the first thing you have to remove is the height. So later we are going to be learning why in my next course that I will actually share with you here on YouTube. I will let you know exactly why you should always, or most of the time, remove the height when you are building your container, so you can make it more dynamic. We will learn more about that in the next course here on YouTube. So just stay tuned. All right. So now for the container, what we are going to do. So then when you remove the height, it has become a line because it has 0 in the height. So first of all, what do you see here? So we have an icon, and next to it we have a group of two texts. So we have icon and group, just like these two. So which means we need a row here. All right. So inside the container, we can click here to add something inside the container. All right. Click on the row. So click here to open it. You see here. Now inside the container, we have a row. So a row now this time should have what? An icon. So let's click on the row. Click here and search icon. And open it, so you can see the icon here. You can go as before, you can search for square and then click here. So this time, so we have selected, you can change the size as I told you before. So let's go with 28. All right. And again, go back to the row. We want to add something next to this, but what is this thing? So we have an icon, but we have these two. So don't you notice that one is on top of the other? So when something is on top of something, this group is called a column because one is on top of the other. So this group before was one next to the other, which means it is a row. All right. So now the beauty of this is that a row can also contain a column. So a row here, we click here and add a column. You see here. So now the row contains an icon and a column here. You see. So when I go here and add a text, and again add another text, You see here, they are grouped one on top of the other. I can add more things and they are going to be one on top of the other, but we don't need that. All right, so now for the first text, it is here bigger than this one. So we click on the text, and then you can choose a preset but or you can just change things on your own. I go with 18, and for the width I go with 600, for example, but maybe 600 is too much. We go with 500. All right, so you can actually just keep 600, so it is different from this one. So for this small one, I will only change the text from primary color to secondary color. All right, so here you kind of see that these are pushed back to this side. You see, they are not in the center, they are pushed here. All right, you see, but these are in the center, as you can see here, they are centered, which means this option, you see here, this option means that every children will be centered, but we want them to be pushed to the left. You see what has changed? This matches exactly what we have here. All right, so now the question is, how do you add this spacing? All this spacing, how do you add it? So it's very simple. So let's close everything here. So now we know exactly what we have, and the first space is between the column and the page. So this is the page, the bigger one, and this is the column, so we have some space between them. All right, so this is the column. All right, and you see here that it is stuck to the edges of the page. So this is the page, you see here, so whenever I select it, it will become green, and this is the column. So the column has to push away the page. So this is what we call padding. So in newer versions, you can select a certain value, but in the old versions of FlutterFlow, you can click on custom and click on this one and then add your own value. You see here, so I will go with 12 or maybe I guess 20. All right, so now we have some space. All right, which is cool, but we also notice that in the image we also have some space in between this row and this list. So again, we have a column and it has two children. All right, we click on the column, we go to its options, and we have what we call here item spacing. So this will space the items inside of the column, which are row and list view. So let's click here and make it maybe 12. All right, that's great. So we also notice that we have some spacing inside of the container. So let's open the list view, and this is the container. So the container has what? Has a row. So you see here, the row, you see this is the green, this is its outline, and the column, it has the same outline. So basically there is no spacing between the row and the container. So the same way we added the space between the column and the page, we add one between the row and the container. So we go to the padding, and this time let's select a certain value like 16 or maybe just 8. So go with whichever value you like, but also here we have some spacing. So now it is becoming easier. So if you want to add space between, let's say, the icon and the column, go to their parent and add space in the items. Let's say H. You see here, that's really cool. All right, you can also do it for the column, which can change the two text. You can click on the column and add item spacing. So item spacing is a property inside the column, row, and also the list view, which we'll see later. But now you might be asking, how do you add a color here? So you can click on the container like this. All right, and you see whenever you click on something, you can see its properties, and one of them is the border color. So click on it, and then you can choose this color or anything, change any color you like, and to add some, to smooth out these edges, because now we have some radius or smoothness here. Click on the container again and then search for border radius, choose this option, and then enter 4 or 8. So you see here, now it is smooth enough. So now we have built the home page. Of course, it will become dynamic later on once we start building the app. So make sure to go right now, pause the video, go ahead, build the home page, and come back to continue building the other page. So right now, let's actually go ahead and build this page. It is way too simple for us. So let's go back here and go to the page selection. This time we can just duplicate this page. So now we have a copy of it, and this one we can call it a done page, and we have to make some changes, of course. All right, So the difference is that, first of all, this is just a text. It does not belong to a row. So we have to, so again, click on the down page this time, click on the widget trace. You can see its structure. So first of all, there is no button. And now we have a row that contains only one text, which doesn't make sense. So a row has to have two children, all right? So click here, right click, and you can say remove the widget. So now we only have the text, all right? Yeah, so each one to the center. Again, just like these two before, click on the column and go. You see here, it basically tells the children to go to the center, but we want to click here so that they can go to the left, all right? Now it is so close to this one, but except here we have a stroke through text. So we click on this text and we click on this option, all right? Just like that. And for the color also, it is different, as you can see in the image. So the color is different because this task is basically done. So the last thing to change here is click here again and see it and search for check. And that's exactly how you do it. Don't worry about the color. So because you can always change it. So you can go to, for example, success and do the same for the border color. So here, the border color of what? Of the container. You can select from here. So just open this view. This is the container. All right. And click on the border and click on success. All right. Again, to change something, you can either select it from here and go change, or select it from here and then go change its properties. So now it looks fine, but there is something here that you don't. So you might be wondering, what are these things? So this is what we call navigation bar. We will do it in the next part. So now to build a navigation bar here, we first have to go to the settings of our app and then go to the Nav Bar setting, all right? And click on show Nav Bar, all right? So to tell you, Nav Bar requires at least 2 pages, all right? So we have to go to each page, go in using the page selector, go to the done page and go to its properties. You will see show on Nav Bar, click on it, and then it will require again 2 pages. Go to the home page and then select it. All right. So now this is what you call a navigation bar. You click on it, you go to certain page. All right. So in the image here, you see that the done page has a blue check mark, while the other one has a blue home page. So let's do it. So go to the home page first, and then I would love to have an active icon, meaning that when the page is on, you will see this. When the page is off, you will see this. All right. So when you are on the home page again, you will see the active icon, just like this. This is the active icon, and this is the inactive icon. So they are not the same. All right. So when you are on the home page, you see this. So this is by default, I guess. For the home page, we only have to change it for the done page. So go to the done page, and just enable this one. So when you are on the done page, which is this one again, we will see a full check mark. All right, just like this one. All right, but let's actually go to the picture and see. You see, we need to look out for this one for the inactive. So when you are active, you see this. When you see this when you are active, but when you are inactive, you have to find the other one, which is this one. Yeah, good. And that's it. So you can make those bigger if you like, but that doesn't matter. So you see here now for the home page, it is active. You can see this one, but when the home page is inactive, you see this one. The same goes for the other one. So this is the nav bar. And right now, let's actually go ahead and build the component that will allow us to create tasks. So here in FlutterFlow, there is something called components that we also have to create, but we need just like a small folder for them. So just to keep things organized, it is not necessary, but just to keep things organized, especially when you have a bigger project than this one. So click here and add what you call component, which is a small page. All right. So click on create blank component and call it create task. All right. So create task. All right. So now click on this one and then just drag it into the folder, open it, and then select it. So the same way, you click here, you go to the widget tree, and you can start building it. So the first thing we have to do is to have a background. So this is like a pop-up, a small page that pops up when you trigger it. We will see how it behaves later. So click here and then add a background, which is in this case the container. You see here, and the container should always be put, right. So you can see here from the icons, just to be put here in the bottom center. All right, good. And then for the width, it should go to the, all right, so it has to take the infinite width. So I didn't know if I was hiding it, but again, you just click on this one, this icon, and it takes the whole width. And again, the height, keep it, remove it. We will learn why later. So now inside the column, inside the container, we need a column. All right. So this column, this column is way too big. So we click here. So each becomes a bit smaller. So we add what we call text field. So what is a text field? A text field is like this one. So here when you search something here, this is what you call a text field. It's like an input. It's a place where you can type. All right. So click on, this is the text field. You can change, of course, its properties here. And you can change again so many things, but we will not go through all of them. So we will only change one thing, which is the hint text. So this one here. So you can call enter task title. All right. So that the user understands what they have to type in there. And then we have another button below it. See here, this is the button. All right. So this is where they can use to pick a date. So say, hey, we just select it, select the button, click here and search for, and just type in, pick a date. And you can change again the width of it. You can make it infinite. And for me, I like to switch things up a little bit. So I like to have the fill color white, like info here. And then the border is primary, and the text, which is, all right, which is this one here. So the hint text, we want to keep it primary. All right, so this is good for me. So again, there is the column here and there is the container. There is no space between them. So click on the column and just go to the padding. This time just search space 24, and yeah. Also, we can have some border for the text, so it can actually shows up to us. We will actually go to the border of the text field. So again, it's a property here. So here it is. This time I will choose like alternate, and maybe also for this one, I don't like that strong color for the button. I will go with alternate, and maybe also for the text, go with secondary text, or just alternate as well. No, I guess secondary is good. So maybe I was hiding that, but anyway, just click here and then you can just choose them. Now after we have these two, we need another button. This time is to create, so the task. So this is to enter the title, this is to pick the date, and this is to just, create the task. So we search for the text here. So yeah, here it is. Create task. And you can also make the width, and then you can add a bit more to the height of it. Let's say 45. But there is something here I wanted in this button, which is that the text in the button should not be so bold, just like 400. So for this button, keep it bold for the other one. And then finally, in this column, you can add some space between the items, or like age. Good. So this is exactly how it's going to work. So now we have the component that will allow us to create tasks. Now let's go ahead and jump to the backend. Now when it comes to the backend, you gotta just go to supabase.com here and then create your own account. And once you have your own account, you can just come here and create a new project, just like how you did with FlutterFlow. You just give it a name, to do this, and then you can just use a strong password, because this is not going to be a real project. It's just like for test. You can choose its place and then just create new project. It will take some time, just like FlutterFlow. So once your project is ready, just like this, you can just go to the database here and or you can go to table editor. That's much easier, and then create a table or click here on new table. So this is where we're going to be saving our tasks. All right. And it did disable this for now. It's just so that we can learn things easier. So, and click on enable real time. So now it's like building a column. It's like building, a Google sheet. So for each task, you just ask yourself, what do we need? So the ID is something that will not change, but preferably you have to have it either as an integer. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Each task would have a number to it, or you can go with like this one here. So we will actually see what that means. So then we just remove everything and click on add column. So the first info about the task is the title. The title is a text. All right. So what is that task? So is it buy a book, go hang out? It's like, this is the title. All right. So then we have the date. All right. So we need the date. The date. So the date is going to be just like this one, the year, the month, and the day. And then the last is whether this task is finished or not. So this is a task that is not finished. Obviously, this one is finished. All right, so we need to know that, and we can search done. Done will be what we call a boolean. All right. So what is a boolean? A boolean is either true or false. So we have done. If it is true, means that the task is done. But if the done is false, this means the task is not done. So for each one, we need to have some kind of default value. All right. But probably this is not the right place for it. So you can just click on save. We will learn that later. So click on save. So they will actually start creating your table. It will take some time. So now that our table is ready, let's go ahead and connect this table or this Supabase project with this FlutterFlow project. So in order to connect FlutterFlow to Supabase, you go to the settings here, and then you go to Supabase down below. So it's going to be, here it is. You see Supabase, and then you click on connect to Supabase. So they will just prompt you up. So here, this is why. So now for Chrome here, I have my account right here. So this is my Chrome account, and I have my Gmail here. And inside of this account, I have created my Supabase project and then my FlutterFlow projects. So this allows me to, that when they told me, hey, so they will, so since now they are under the same account, you see, I can choose just my organization, which will be created by default. Don't worry about that. And click on authorize FlutterFlow. And just like this, they will actually connect you to Supabase. All right. And you can just choose so I have two options. You can just choose the one that you already have, but if you have one, just click on it. So now let's select our project, and now this time it is going to be connected. Just make sure that you are using the same account, or at least you are under the same Chrome account. All right. So now we are connected to the to-do list Supabase project. Click on get schema, and look, see, so here the tasks table, now we can see it inside of our own FlutterFlow project, which means that we have successfully linked Supabase to FlutterFlow. So now after we have linked Supabase to FlutterFlow, it's time now for the logic. The first piece of logic is to create tasks. But there is one thing that I actually want to show you, which is to go to the app details here and just make sure that the entry page is the home page, which is the page that people or users would actually see. So in order to create a task, you have to show this component. So go back to the home page. So click here and to the home page. So again, the problem is that you keep selecting pages and then coming back here and there. So the beauty of clicking here is that I can click on the create and can see everything here. And the done page, I can see its structure instantly. The home page, I can see its structure instantly. So anyway, that's why combining these two is very productive. So again, once you are on the home page, by the way, let's select, let's actually change this one, which is my list. So again, once you are on the home page, you want to click here, and when you click here, this will show you this component, so you can actually create a task. All right, so click on the home page, click here, and go. Now this time we are going to go to the logic, which is actions, and open it. And when you tap it, so you can either tap, double tap, or long press. This is what we have on mobile. But if you tap once, we'll add an action. This action will show you what? It will just search show, click on show, and then it will show you what? Then you can select the create task component. So now once we click here, that task will show up, all right? Because we have triggered it. So one thing I would just want to change that to done. Anyway, so again, we said that once we click here, we will actually show the components. So now once it is shown, it is time to create the task. So again, this is like a text field that will accept text from the user, but this button has to allow the users to pick a date. So again, click here and open it, on tap, add action, and search for date time picker. All right, so now we only want the date, not the time, just the date. All right, and the default is, so don't worry about all of that, just leave it as is. You can learn more about it on your own later. So again, so this button picks the date, this widget takes the title. So now this can do its job. Since now these two are doing their job, now we can go to the create task button. Again, open it as usual, click on add action. So it will first do what we call insert. So see here, Supabase, we have insert row, click there. And now which table? So if you have many tables, you have to select one, but we only have one this time. Click on tasks. All right. So now in order to create a task, you have to provide the fields. All right. So these are all the fields, but luckily the ID is something that Supabase will handle. So we don't have to worry about the ID. We only have to provide these three. So let's start with the title. So the title comes from where? So the title comes from this text, or this task, this widget, which is called text field, is what will provide the title. So let's just click on the create task and click here. And now for the title, we click on this to make it variable, click there. And we need to search for the widget that takes the title. So you see here, this is what, so this is called the text field. And inside of it, we have enter task title. So this widget is what will provide the title. And when you make it like this, it makes it dynamic. All right. So now the date comes from where? So the date also comes from the button below that. So here we have it. And here we have the date picked. Coming from where? From this button right here. But we have one missing field. That is the done. So you just have to ask yourself a question. When I am creating a task, how the done will be? So by default, it's going to be false because you have just created it. So you cannot create a task and it's going to be done the moment you create it. So when you create a task by default, the done is false, which means it is not done because it has been just created. All right. So now after you have actually inserted the row, you just have to dismiss or close the component. All right. So the bottom sheet, click on dismiss. So this button doesn't have only one action, it has two. It will create and then dismiss. So let's actually go ahead and put this one to the test. And in order to test this, you can just click on the lightning icon here, which will give you a test environment. So you just wait for it and I will come back to you once it is over. So now that the test mode is actually ready, so you can click on this one here. You see now that shows you the components. So click here, we choose buy a book. Now click here and we will pick a date. It's going to be for 17 this month. Then click on create task. So now it has created a task and it has dismissed it. So the button is working fine. But what is this task? To make sure that the task was actually created, you have to go to your Supabase project and just refresh, or maybe without even refreshing, it has shown. So this is what we call universal unique ID. It's a long ID anyway, but sometimes people to make it easier, they just use like numbers like 1 2 3 4 5, which was integer 8, which was the first option, but we switched it to this one. But if you choose the old option, which is int 8, it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the list goes on and on. So this is our task. This is its ID. Supabase has made that for us, which is good. This is the title. This is the date, which is 17th of this month, this year, and it is not done, of course. But the question is that we don't see it here. Well, this is what we are going to learn in the next part, which is reading tasks. Now, in order to read a task, you just go to the home page here. And this is why I told you to actually not worry, because this list view will make copies of this task. So, or this container. All right. So click on the list view, and this time go to the backend here and add a query. So this time we are using Supabase. That's why we choose Supabase query, and then choose tasks. This is the table, so you can only query one table at a time. So we choose tasks, and do we need one or a list? Of course, a list, and you can have a limit like 5, 10, but we don't use that much more. And the ordering, you have to order them based on the date, so from the old to new. So we will understand what this means. So we will learn it later. All right. And just turn off this single time query so that it is real time. So when you enable it, if you make some changes, they will not show until you close your app and open it again. But just like disable it, you will learn more about it later on with me in the next course. All right, here on YouTube, of course. So click on confirm, click on then confirm. You see now it makes more copies, but since now we need some space between them, again, go back to the properties of the list view here and add some space. We can call it 4. Now it's we are not done. We are still see hello world and hello world. So it's not good. Right, so here we need to see the title, and here we need to see the date. All right, so click on the first test. So again, you can open this one if you like, and again open this column. This has the 2 texts. So instead of seeing hello world, you will make it it will come from the backend query. So this backend query basically brings all of the data here and shows it to you here. So since it will bring you all the data, it might as well bring you also, or show you also, the title instead of just hello world, hello world, hello world. It doesn't make sense. All right, so click here and see this is the backend query. So this is the table, and we can just choose the title. All right, you can choose a default value to just show you here. We can just say task here, and just so that you can see it here. All right, see. All right, click here and make it also, so it's going to be date, but date has some format you can choose from. So we can call it a moment ago relative, which means that we can say the next day, yesterday, or we can show the actual date. So we would like to go with this way. We can change it later. Again, we can have default value. They will just force us to do that, but you know, it doesn't. It's so since you can see it, since when you select it, you can see it in orange. The same goes here. This is dynamic. All right. So let's go ahead and test this. So when you test it in FlutterFlow, you click here once, and if you don't see the changes, you have to click again on the same button. All right, probably 3 times, and then after that you can see the changes that you have made. So this is what we are talking about. Now we can actually see the actual date, the actual content of the task. All right, so click here and let's say meet John. This is going to be today. All right, so click on the create task. So meet John is below it. So all right, so let's click on another one to say buy groceries. Anyway, so it's gonna be on the end of the month. Click on create task. So we notice something, that this has to be on top because this is far in the future. It has to be on the bottom. So in order to change, we go to the list view on which we have the backend query, and we add the ordering. So it was decreasing. So decreasing, now we understand that it is from future to past, but we want it from past to future. All right. So that the current or the closest tasks shows on top. So from instead of decreasing, we choose increasing. We click on confirm, and again we click on this one 3 times. So now as you can see, meet John is the is today, this one is 2 days after, this one is at the end of the month. So this is the right ordering. So but we are not done here. We have to actually also do something called filtering. So we will learn about filtering in the next part. So when it comes to filtering, it happends again in the backend query. So here we see tasks that again from the past to the future, but we need a filter, meaning that you only see tasks that are not done, because we already have another page dedicated for just showing you the tasks that are already done. So all right, so there is a difference between them. So you only filter them by the done field, which is this one. So you only show, so on this homepage you show tasks where the done field is equal to false, meaning that they are not done yet. So click on confirm. All right, so when you go to the done page here, again we can do the same as usual as before. Again, let's do it again so you can learn how to do it on your own. Click here, click on Supabase query, select the page, and this time the ordering again as we have seen before, the date, but instead this time increasing, disable this, and for the filter this time we will switch it, so it has to be equal to true. All right, confirm. All right, then click on the list view, properties, add the for in spacing, item spacing, and then of course click here and then click here, open it up and choose title, and you can type in something to see it. And the same goes for this one here. Say date, we can click here on date format and choose this one here, click on confirm. So this time I didn't write anything, but you can just skip it. All right, sometimes they force it, sometimes you have to add it, but anyway. So now we have actually done the filtering. So on the home page you only see those that are done, that are not done, sorry, and this is where you see those that are not done. So let's actually go ahead and try the filtering. So this is the home page, we see those that are not done, but when you go here you actually see nothing, because all tasks they have that to be false. But let's switch one of them. All right, let's switch one of them in the backend. Of course we will switch them from the app later. So let's say this one is done. So buy groceries, which is set on the 30th of this month, it is true. So done is true, means that it is done. So you see here, it shows on the done page and not here. All right, see, now the filtering is working. So let's go ahead and learn how to do this, like done and undone, from the app, not from the backend. So here on the home page, when you click on this icon, so it has to turn or switch the boolean or the done field of this task to true. Right, add action. So just click on, by the way, you can just make it simple. Click on open, on tab, add action. Now it has to do what we call update row. See here in Supabase, update row from the tasks table, but this time you have to provide what? The ID, because when you create you don't provide the ID, but when you update or delete you have to provide the ID. So how do we do it? We click on add filter, click here and just provide the ID. All right, it has to be equal to what? Click here and open it up and choose the ID. This means that when you click here you only update this task, and when you click here you only update this task, you don't update. So because if you click here it does not make sense to update this one. No, when you do this, when you do what we have done, it means that when you click here you only update this task. All right, not those that are below it or something else. All right, so again just provide the ID. So tell them that the ID has to be equal to the current task. Again, when you do this you tell them that the ID of the task I want to update has to be equal to the current one, They don't tell you here, but this is what this means. All right, so now once you have specified exactly which task you want to update, then you can just click on which field you want to update. So this time we want to update done. So when you actually click there, you have to turn it to true. So you click here, that becomes true. All right, but on the home page here, when you click here, you do the same, but sometimes somehow the opposite. All right, I will show you what I mean. So I can click here, add action, and say update row and click on tasks. Again, tell FlutterFlow that I only want to update the current task, which has the ID equal to my current task. All right. Click here, click on ID, close it, and then this time go to the done field. All right. And then this time you switch it to false. All right, by default. All right. So when you click here, so basically when you go on this page, you are only seeing tasks where the done field is true. So logically you have to switch it to false. All right. So again, this one switched to false, and this one switched to true. All right. So one switched to true, the other one switched to false. All right. So let's go ahead and see how it actually works out. So here we are. We can just try here. So when we click here, what will happen? So meet John now already has that false. It will be switched to true. So click here, and it will be gone. So you will actually see it here. But sometimes you have to do something, because, for example, I will click here and it will not happen instantly. So I will have to go up there and then see it, come back, and I will not see it there. But the app should not work this way. So this is why after each change to our data, we have to click on or choose the rebuild page. All right. So we do the same here. Click here, edit. After you do that, you have to rebuild the page. So it's like rebuild is the same as refresh the page. So again, we have made those changes. Hopefully now whenever we click here, everything will happen automatically. So click here, meet John. So here again in this test mode, it is basically still not working. So maybe I've made one mistake, which is on the backend queries. We actually need to enable the single time query. So I just mistaken it with another option. So let's click on here again and just click here and just enable it. So once it is enabled in both sides, we can again click on instant reload. So here, after we have made those changes, we can click here, and you see they are going to be applied instantly. So sorry for that mistake, I didn't mean it. So, and we have made this app in a very short amount of time. So usually it will take people maybe 2 or 3 days to build this, but we have actually compressed all of that and built it in a very short amount of time. So thank you so much for following along with me in this tutorial. I hope it was useful. I hope it has actually opened your eyes on how apps are built with FlutterFlow, or no code in general. But here, as I told you during this tutorial, there is more to learn. Of course, you cannot just take whatever you learned here and build a real app with it. No, there are still so much things to learn, and that's why when you go to the description of this video right now, you will find a link. It is the first link, by the way. It's very easy to find. It will take you to this course that I have here on YouTube. So this is the course here on YouTube, and it actually goes way deep into FlutterFlow. So we'll learn more about children columns. We will learn about flex and expandability, like way more than what we have learned in this video. We will learn so much. All right. And not only that, so in the first chapter, as you can see here, chapter 1 has probably 9 episodes that would give you the foundation and teach you every bit of widget here in FlutterFlow. Of course, it's like FlutterFlow and Supabase. We will just stick to Supabase for now. But in the second chapter after that, which we are going to learn, or we are going to apply that to build a sign-up page, a login page, a home page, list page, and other pages, and also components. So again, the first chapter is for the basics. You will learn the basics so you can understand what each widget means and what are its properties. But right after that, you'll go ahead, like once you finish the basics chapter, which is the chapter number 1, you'll go and apply all of that in chapter number 2. So make sure please to go and actually check this course. It is actually free, and here on YouTube I made it free for you here on YouTube. Just click on the first link below and I will meet you there.